Hello again. I am so glad that you chose to do this second crayon video. It's kind of nice when you practice a skill to come back to it and practice it again, and it just kind of cements some of those ideas, and I feel like we're able to apply it even better next time. So I wanted to show you a little something different. We're going to talk about how to make objects look like they're in a circle, how to make things look like they're in dimension, not just all flat and straight across our page. It's really fun. Here, let's go back and look at the drawing from the first lesson. All of our crayons are kind of standing in one long space. They're all flat and face forward. But in the project we're going to do today, our crayons are standing in a circle. Some of them are further away, some are closer. I can see the front of some and I can see the back of some. So we're going to talk about how to do this. It's called using perspective. And just a chance to practice our faces again too, right? So again, you're just gonna need a pencil and eraser. The eraser's maybe a little more important this time. We're gonna need it a little more. The first thing we're gonna do on our paper is draw an oval. An oval, something like this. I like to use sketching lines. That means that I go very lightly. I'm not pressing hard with my pencil. And I might go over it a few times to get the shape I really want. So there's my oval. This is also called an ellipses. Our second graders were working on this. Ellipses are a little more pointed at the end than an oval. So it might be more like an ellipses, honestly. All right, so we're going to start drawing a little differently this time. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with the legs, which was kind of the last thing we did last time, but there's a reason for it. I want us to place our crayons around the circle. So I'm going to start with the front middle. I'm going to add two legs, two parallel lines. That means they're running in the same direction. Two lines side by side. And then I'm going to move over a little, two more lines. See how I put enough space in between them so I can tell that those are two separate things? I'm going to put a little line down here. If I put two lines side by side like this, it actually just, my brain says, oh, I have four lines. But when I put the space in between them, it helps me understand that these are two separate things and not one big thing, if that makes sense. All right, so I'm going to keep going with my two lines. I'm going to leave a little space in between. These lines on the bottom are going to go on the inside of the circle, or the oval. I'm sorry, it's not a circle. When I get to this side, I'm going to do something a little funny. My lines are going to go on the outside of the circle. The same on this side. They're going to switch to the outside. And for the top, my lines are going to be outside the circle. It's okay if all your lines aren't exactly the same. All crayons can be different, right? All right, the next part is we're going to add their body now. You guys remember what shape we used? Rectangle. I think I heard some rectangles. Remember again that these crayons, I'm going to go ahead and add the triangles on top too. These crayons do not have to be all the same size. Little blues over here on mine. When you get to the side here, these two crayons are quite possibly going to bump into each other. And that is okay, not to worry. So I'm making different size rectangles. Things that are further away tend to look a little smaller, but our circle's not that big, so I think it's okay. I'm going to add a big guy back here. This is that color that didn't get used a whole lot in the box. All right, let's see. I'll add another tall one here. Again, it's okay that his head goes up that far. All right, here's my crayons. I'm looking at the balance of my picture, and I'm thinking that I could make some adjustments if I wanted. I really like how interesting this side is. We have some tall and some short, but then these guys are kind of all the same size. So I'm going to go in right here and erase. I'm going to make this guy a little taller than the people around him. This just adds interest. It's not necessary. It's just a little extra thing I wanted to do. All right, so I have all my crayons. They're all in a circle. I want you to think for just a minute about standing in a circle. Everyone's not going to be facing towards you, right? If let's be these little lines right here. If we're standing right here, we'll see the faces on these crayons, but we're only going to see the back of these crayons, right? So We're going to add faces, but only to the crayons who are in the back row on the opposite side. So now you could go back and maybe you want to look back at some of your faces that you made last time. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with on your own here. Oh, that guy looks surprised. And I really liked the happy face. My tall friend here is very happy. And this one, I don't know, he's not so sure about what they're doing in the circle. There's this guy. Yeah, he looks pretty happy today too. Oh, I'm gonna do one of those knotted eyebrows. Remember that word? This is a friendly guy though. I think maybe mouth open, having a conversation with a neighbor. These two on the side, we're not really going to see the front or the back, are we? We're going to see the side. So how I will show this is I'm going to let my face be right on the edge, facing in towards the circle. And I'm going to give this guy just a simple smile. I don't know, I kind of like the open mouth smile. And then on this side, maybe they're turned and they're talking to their neighbor. I'm going to do that eyebrow thing again. I don't know what kind of face I just made there. He looks like maybe, I don't know. That's a funny one. All right, so those are the only faces that I'm going to see. I'm going to be seeing the back of these other crayons. And here's kind of a fun little thing, just to add a little detail to these guys. I'll show you the picture first. Let's look back at the cover of the book. The illustrator and artist Oliver Jeffries added this little band of color. This would go all the way around the crayon, right? So even if the crayon is facing away from us, we're going to see the color all the way around. Kind of like, here's my oil pastel. This little band right here goes all the way around my oil pastel, whether it's the front or the back. So we're going to do this. It's a straight line, a little, well, I'll say a curved line, and then some little mountaintops on top. And this just gives us the look of that band on the bottom of the crayon. Because this band goes all the way around, it's not going to be just on the back. We're going to see it on all of our crayons. So let's say that one more time. Because this band goes all the way around, we're not going to see it just on the crayons that have their back to us. Oh, little blue, I barely have room. But we're going to see it on the crayons all the way around. All right, so now all of our crayons have those added details. So there's one more thing left to do, to add, I should say. We're going to add some arms, but first I want to take a minute and I'm going to carefully erase my circle line, my oval. Keep calling it a circle. My oval line. Because in a moment we're going to add hands, and I just don't want these lines to get bumped into each other or confused with each other. This isn't necessary. You could leave the line down there if you wanted. Just a little step I like to do. All right. You can still see it a little, but that's okay. That's good for now. All right, so now these guys are going to be holding hands. Remember, our hands and our arms were lines with the curves at the end for the fingers. So I want you to think for just a minute and watch how it's like to hold hands. Let's think about, let's start here between these two guys because they're the same height. One hand comes down and there's fingers. The other guy's arm comes down and they're holding hands. This one's going to be fun because he's taller, or she's taller. We're going to add a hand down here. I'm going to start with my taller one first, and then this guy's gonna have to put his hand up a little. So maybe start with your taller one first. Their hand can go halfway, and oh, little blue is definitely going to have to reach up. He's going to have to stretch too. We're going to go halfway over and halfway over. Oh, this one here, this one's taller, so I'm going to start here. And we're just going to keep going around, adding hands. Again, on this corner, think about what you're going to see. You're just going to see this arm going out to the side. Here we go. Here could be a tricky part, but it's not going to be if we think about it. This guy's going to be reaching down, and here's a hand. And this guy's going to be reaching down, and here's his hand. That's fine. Oh, it almost made like a right angle there, didn't it? We're going to do it again over here. Oh, here's the guy. He's a little smaller. I'm going to start with my taller one, kind of adding the arm somewhere in the upper middle side of my crayon each time. Oh yeah, definitely starting with the taller one here. Hand up. And here we go. And here we are back to the side again. So I'm going to have this one come over and this one come up. And now I have my crayons in a circle holding hands. I can tell the ones that are taller, whose arms have to stretch differently. Kind of fun. And then you could go back and add color to this as well if you would like. You don't have to, but that could be a fun thing to do as well. All right, I look forward to seeing your creations. Have fun.